This is the response of the newest police video that just came out. When we first saw it, it portrayed Brian as the victim. Clearly. She was distraught. They're looking for her at this time. Not once did we know about the 911 caller that said Brian slapped her. Had I been a police officer, and I was a military police officer at one point, or if I'm a parent of little kids, and I have a witness that said he slapped her, I'm going to interrogate them separately, differently. Since a witness said he slapped her, I am definitely going to know that he's going to try to cover up and not admit that, but I'm going to keep questioning and get to the truth. And for her, since she's the one that's slapping, and if she's not saying up front that he slapped her, I'm going to know that being in her position while she's shaking up, that she's going to want to cover up too, so he doesn't get in trouble and do things further. So to me, that's basic 101. My huge problem of this newest video is the police are showing us what they want us to show. So they show us that first video before she was ever found in the wood in Wyoming. And they show us what they want us to see. And what they showed us was bits and pieces that show that he's got some marks on his face. Okay. Then later, after she was found, then all of a sudden, here's this 911 caller. Now that that's out, there's a few days goes on, and then we find out that, because while the attention's trying to find Brian is the most important. A lot of people have forgotten about that, and you don't hear that in the news so much. My big concern is, did the 911 caller did that message get to the police? Because it did. Like I'm saying, that's a whole different line of questioning. So now the 911 side, or the dispatcher, from the 911 to the police to the dispatcher that talked to the police, they're feeling the heat. Like, did you not tell them? So they throw it there. So now here comes this video yesterday, and they're trying to show that they did everything right, or more right than what they're getting heat for. I'm sure of it. And the first thing, the officer walks up and he said, "Can you tell me about somebody who'd been hit?" Well, witnesses say you've been hitting her. And Brian just, like any liar would, stumbles, looks down to the right, looks to the left, and gives a sideways answer to it. And then somehow the police just stop right there and goes back to the thing. This video, the police are thinking, is helping the way they are, as trying to take heat off of them. To me, it solidifies that they're 100% wrong. And there's some comments that I pray for Gabby's family that just to see this go on. And it's, I have 2 daughters, and this could be one of mine. And I cannot believe the police are still trying to show us what they want us to. If you please watch all these videos if you haven't, and then come back and see if you see the things I see. There is 2 witnesses. One was called into the 911 and said he saw him slapping her. Then I guess there was another witness on this video that they released us that called the other one. And the person they talked to said he wasn't really paying that much attention, and then tells what he saw. Well, he didn't say he saw him slapping her, but they also said they weren't paying that much attention. Obviously, the other guy that called the 911 said he slapped her and repeated that he slapped her. Okay. In this video that they just released, they only show the call to the one person that said he wasn't paying that much attention. It lined up with how they ultimately ruled the case. They didn't spend enough time talking to Gabby. She's crying, she's covering up, and they're asking if they did ask her if they hit her. Okay, so that looks good on their part to a point. But when she answers, she's not giving a decisive no. And when they asked Brian early, when they went right up to his vehicle at the beginning of this video, and once again, we don't know how much other video there is of this that could maybe even tell the truth or not more. If I was the FBI, if they haven't done it already, I would demand to have every ounce of footage. And unfortunately, just like a criminal getting rid of evidence, they may not have the other stuff available. But to me, they messed up all around. There was a person that recorded that, and the police were aware that there's one witness that claims he saw her getting slapped. The way she responded, she didn't say, no, he didn't slap me. She didn't say that. She kept trying to she's thinking about what this would do if he said he slapped. And you could see that. She's looking, she's scared. And eerily, in one of the comments, the one officer that called the one person, and my question is, before letting them go, why not, before deciding what to do, why not insist on getting a hold of that second caller? Because that second caller might have both, if as an officer, I would want to know, I want to talk to that second caller. If there's one of the two that said, I definitely saw it, the second one might have said, I definitely saw that, and they might have called him, but not shown us. We don't know this because they're kind of showing us what they want to, kind of like the news, right? But had he called that second person, he says, no, I saw it from start to finish. He was slapping her first. And if that's the case, he goes to jail, and we don't have what we have here. And it's horrible. It's, obviously the police job is a hard job. It really is. But when I'm a parent, I'm trying to get to the truth. If both people are lying to me, which they're both covering up, and one's covering it up because he did it, and the other one's covering up because she doesn't want it to go any, further, and, wrongfully she thinks she's, helping the situation, not knowing the big picture. And what's really eerie is that the officer comments, inside of his vehicle about how these things go, and that, eventually somebody gets killed. And if he listened to what he said and understood that maybe that person that called in and said he slapped her was correct, and if you listen to the guy that said he didn't see her slap her, he's also kind of leading the person on, based on what he heard from those two. So, when the guy said I wasn't paying attention, but this is what I saw, and he didn't say, no, he definitely didn't hit her. He wasn't paying attention to the whole thing. He was just periodically checking. So he may have missed the slaps. So I'm really concerned about them showing us what they want us to see when they want us to see it. And this new body camera could have been released before they found her. They've also helped Brian to whatever the time period is. It seems it's like 2 weeks or so. I don't have a calendar writing everything down, but had they released everything like this, especially the 911 caller saying he slapped her, police had a chance to go get him right then and there. So they had their chance right there on August 12th, and they've messed it up horribly.